Yo, 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 everybody. Thank you for tuning in. You have found yourself in Brian's world. Welcome to my world. It's flat, bro. My earth is flat, so you're on the flat earth right now, baby. You ain't got no magic, you can't get into Brian's world. That's how it be. But no, it's not really like that. I'm very much a teacher and a leader, and I want to show people things and teach people and have people follow the path that I've followed. And that's being a legend. That's leaving your mark. Or if you don't really feel like doing that, I don't know. I'm kind of bipolar, you guys. Like, I do be having some days where I just want to be a free soul and not bound to any kind of chains. But there is like a drive in me that wants to do things. But I don't know. See, the problem with all the motivational stuff is like you can be happy and unmotivated. I was pretty unmotivated for a while and didn't really give that much of a shit other than like keeping up with my bills and day-to-day life. But I didn't really have any kind of like championship drive. You know what I'm saying? And like my team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, we lost in the playoffs. But I didn't even care because I got my own playoffs to go. Like I got my own series. I got my own game sevens in life. And I didn't get to watch much basketball this year. I don't even have my internet or TV at home right now. That's why I'm recording off air. I usually like to be live and mingle with the crew. But yeah, no, welcome to my show. I do untraditional intros in which I just see what comes out of my brain to start off the show. I probably should make better intros because that's like the beginning of the show when people watch. And that's where they're going to decide whether they want to watch the full hour long of this idiot talking or not. But anyways, if you're new to the show, I talk about my life, my adventures, my stories. There's nothing incredibly special about me. I just happen to have a pretty interesting life, full of adventure and mischief and struggle and overcoming. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I do think that I've done certain hard work and certain spiritual awakenings that most people go their entire lives without discovering. And again, I'm not trying to say that as an arrogant way, you know? I try to back things up. Anything I do or say, I try to back it up with the truth. I'm the truth, bro. Big trust. The truth. But yeah, I'm just trying to tune to the right frequency. It's actually 10:50 a.m. right now. And I am on call to see if I get an appointment for work. I do have an appointment at 3:30. So I do have work today. But I got the opportunity to do a little podcasting earlier. So look at me. I'm all ready for work, dude. I'm ready to hop into my sales job like that. But yeah, you know, not everybody needs to fight a war. And sometimes lately I've been a little bit too much like maybe imposing my will and my beliefs on people. But also people want to reach that spot. You feel me? Like think of how popular all that motivational content is. You know, David Goggins, Grant Cardone, everybody else. Motivation content is super popular. I remember like when I was getting a lot of motivational stuff in my feeds, like when I was actually going on social media daily and actually scrolling, a lot of my shit would be motivational stuff, which was good. And some of it I would save or write down and add to my toolbox and add to my brain. But I didn't really take off until I stopped consuming motivational content Because the problem with motivational content is you're getting that person's philosophy. And here on Earth as humans, we're innately creative, and we have the opportunity to have our own philosophy and our own worldviews. And so often in today's world, with the amount of time we spend hearing about other people that are famous on the internet, we kind of get sucked into those people. And maybe we consume so much of other people talking, and we put so much stimuli in our brain that we lose track of what we really are and what we really want to be as individual humans. So yeah, I know y'all be thinking like when you go on social media that you're absorbing a lot in a short amount of time. That's actually an efficient way to put more info and more entertainment in your brain. I know it might seem like that, but it's really not. It's really not good. Because you're consuming too much. It's overloading your brain. And then each thing you're consuming, you're only spending a small amount of time on it. So it's really not forming any kind of neural pathway. And you might remember and recall certain things if, like, you're really only going to recall something very short, let's say a 30-second clip of something, if it hits emotional centers. So if it makes you laugh really hard, or if it makes you maybe tear up a little bit, in an emotional way, a sad or happy or motivated way. If it makes you angry, you might recall that later in the day at work. Be like, man, I saw this bullshit on the internet this morning that was saying this. And again, with motivational content, it's general consensus that, hey, that's a good idea to be listening to a bunch of motivational content. But then I evaluate the situation. Like, I'm listening to this stuff and I'm writing it down, but what am I actually doing? Like, in physical reality, am I actually working hard right now? Is this actually hard work? Is this actually growing me? Or do I need to reflect deeper in myself? And that's what you should ask yourself. Ask yourself, when you use that social media, and if I'm speaking right now, not to everybody, I'm speaking for people who want to be motivated and want to try to achieve things and want to hustle and work hard and have fun. Like, recall what you're actually doing when you consume the media. I guess if you're listening to, I don't know, let's say Andrew Huberman. If you're listening to 4-hour Andrew Huberman podcast and going on 10-mile runs, I think you're good, bro. Like, you're on a good path. That's a good idea. Hell yeah. That's beautiful. It's positive. That's fire. But for me, I was just sitting there doing this. And maybe with my back arched, my neck down. And you're sitting there like this and watching these shorts of Andrew Tate and all the other goofballs. And you're like, yeah, it's an emotional thing. You're like, get motivated. But then what? You go to bed and then wake up groggy in the next morning and it's the same routine. You might get that little 1 hour where you threw a bunch of motivational stuff in your brain, but nothing ended up sticking. And when you woke up, it was the same misery. And same lack of motivation. I found when I started digging deeper into myself. So this is for y'all. Like, start digging deeper into yourself. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to reach for the external, like, alright, for example, I have a stack of books by my bedside. Okay? I have Learn How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh!, a Kindle, The Inner Work, an old book called The Barrier, a book called Play, that's about like how play shapes the brain, opens imagination. And I'm wondering if this is going to get sexual or not. I certainly do hope so. God of my own reality, I'm him. Look what I opened to. The word sex. Literally opened a random page. Y'all just saw that, right? We all just witnessed this. Holy fuck, that was crazy. But honestly, this is the kind of shit. Like, this happens in my life all the time. Little synchronicities. And my finger was on it. Like, I literally just opened it. Play as a sex symbol. Play itself is a sexual trait. He thinks that the products of play, art, drama, sports, music, exist because they are part of the human mating display. Oh, interesting. Is that why bitches actually want to fuck when they talk to me? Because I'm creative and interesting? And the fact that I'm creative and interesting is actually deeply rooted in a sexual undertone? Arts and humanities are like peacock's tail. Yeah, I feel that, bro. That's 100%. It indicates the male peacock's fitness, bro. I gotta show off my fitness by being a podcaster. um, I've gotten nudes from this. That's all, though. I haven't gotten explicitly laid because from podcasting. Playing with them boys. That was crazy. I was literally like, oh, I wonder if it would be sexual. And I opened it to the word sex. And it's probably only a smaller part of the book, yeah. It's probably just it's more talking about like playing, like having fun. Social play. Parenthood. And me, dude, that's insane. It's not though, like I'm used to it. But anyways, going back to what I was talking about. Yeah, play. And not play, but information overload and shit. Now, I have this stack of books by my bedside, not because, like, I need to read these books. I need to read every night. Read. These are all the books I'm working on right now. No, it's just a selection that if I want to read, they are there to pick from. These are the books I would want to pick from right now if I'm going to read. The books that I've pre-selected for now. I got an Umpire one. I got this for, like, Christmas or my birthday's flyer. I actually like referees in sports. I fuck with the refs. I'm a little autistic. Bro, people are dumb. Like, I get that they make bad calls. But let's say there's one bad call in a game. And everybody is pissed off about that one call because it changed the game. But what about all the calls that they got right? You fucking assholes. You're like that ex-girl that I was talking to. She would just look at things on the negative instead of the positive. Even if there was only one stupid little negative detail, that would become the overarching theme for the entire day in her mind. And like we literally, willfully can just be like, nah, I'm gonna go hit a bowl and smoke some weed and not be like that. Now that if you're in a legal state, if you're above the age of 21, you have no excuse to be a dick because you can just go to the dispensary. If you're within an hour's, however, that's how long you have to be a dick. However far away you are from a dispensary, you have that long. And if you can't stop being a dick within that time, you need to go to the dispensary and smoke some dope. Yeah. So, like, the weed back in the day made people stupid because it had a lower THC. So you'd kind of have to, like, smoke a lot of it, and then it would just kind of... It was fucking up your body way more because you had to smoke way more smoke. And, like, when you smoke something, it is smoke. Like, you're inhaling smoke. So all the chemical compounds, like carbon dioxide or whatever the fuck is in smoke, you're getting it. But yeah, I don't know. I talk about that a lot. THC is a cognitive enhancer. And it does seem weird to me, like people don't understand, but I've also been doing it for a long time, so maybe I'm just used to it. And for the normal person, if you tried to smoke weed and go about your day, you'd be fucked. So anyways, yeah, as far as like information overload goes, so I don't have this like rushing desire need to put as much information as in my brain as possible. And that's important. And it's a spell you got to break because we get this FOMO, the fear of missing out. And it happens with social media. We feel like that if we don't go on the social media, we're going to miss out on something. And then someone's going to be talking about something and we're not going to know what the fuck they're talking about. Which, like, come on, dude. Are we really scared the fear of missing out that we're going to miss out on, like, the Hawktua girl? Is she down bad yet? Do I have a chance with her yet? There's gonna come a time and place where the Hawktua girl will literally be on my radar. A broke ass, divorced, ghetto white boy, single dad. I have a lot of different personalities though in one. I have a lot of different flavors to me. I definitely got some ghetto white boy to me. I like hip hop and dancing and smoking weed while I'm driving. Known unknowns. So, there's known unknowns, and these are things that we know that we do not know. But then there are unknown unknowns, and these are things that we do not know that we do not know. The more you know, the less you know. Knowledge is exponential. Once a door opens, there are more doors behind that door. And then each one of those doors have more doors behind those doors. Everything is layered and thick and intricate in this world. Nothing is what it seems. We live in a matrix. I'm playing. But maybe. But that is interesting, man. And think about all the things that you don't even know that you don't know. Like, there's a lot of stuff out there that you just don't know about. We can't know everything in this world. It'd be information overload. And because of that general concept, we do kind of have to be careful with what we consume, right? I get very worried, like when I scroll through my Facebook timeline and see what other people are posting and saying, and then I think about how other people are consuming that timeline. And for me, I maybe these days, like on a Facebook feed, I'll probably do 3 swipes of the thumb. I can get through 3 swipes. After 3 swipes and seeing like 10 posts, I've seen enough and I don't feel the need to want to scroll anymore. because I'm disappointed and literally upset about what I just consumed. Like, I tried to get an ice cream cone or my ice cream cup or ice cream truck, and the guy just handed me a glass of piss. And then I drank it. I didn't even, I said, this must be some new type of ice cream. I know it looks like a cup of piss. I know it smells like a cup of piss. And it's still warm and foamy. But I just bought it from an ice cream truck. So I'm going to go ahead and believe that this is the new ice cream. And it's not. It's piss. And that's what your social media feed be like. And I'm not saying it's all bad. There's good stuff on there. But yeah, so I get worried knowing that, like, knowing how much it matters, like what you consume matters. Um, so for me, I listen to a lot of music. And that is a fine line because we know that music sometimes is a little bit weaponized to kind of bring people down and control the masses. Like these beats, man, it's beat dope. They're tuned to a certain frequency to affect your brain a certain way. All these beats these days are very like trancy and make you want to dance really hard. So like it's a powerful currency. It can be like a spiritual currency. Energy is spiritual currency. And this music can give you energy. And like you'll hear a dope ass beat, but then it'll be like he said he what well, I don't know. Let me think of something ratchet. Just, you know, like Megan the Stallion pouting off, you know? He said he giving his money to Megan. It's kind of dope though. It's kind of lit and fun. And like she raps about her pussy, and it's all, and I don't know. It's kind of, there's like a dark devil temptation undertone. But like as a spiritual person and an understanding, if you like understand what these things are, you can have fun with it, but it definitely can be I don't know. I don't Is it really that negative a thing for us listening to music talking about vulgar ass shit like drugs, fucking and murder? It's like half of what music is about. Drugs, sex, and murder. At least the music I listen to. But like, I'm listening to 3 6 Mafia. And the beat has like Ozzy Osbourne's voice sampled in the background saying, God is dead. And I'm tuning around bumping to that, getting hyped up. But then I go to do this sales job. And part of my job is to make someone's day better. Part of my job, that's if I'm going to sell my product, when I go into people's house and do my demonstration, to be in someone's house for 2 hours and for them to keep you there and have a good attitude and hang out with you, guess what? Guess what you gotta do? Be fucking fun and funny. You cannot suck. You cannot be lame. You cannot be boring. You cannot not be coming up with shit to say that's funny, that's interesting. You can't not be asking them questions about themselves and getting them to open up. If you want to make a fucking deal, you want to have a good time, you gotta make a friend. I have to make a friend. Part of my job, and to get paid, I have to make a friend. So if I'm listening to a bunch of Megan Thee Stallion talking about her vagina getting pounded, but then I'm going and being a good person for the world, how bad is that? And I'm sure there's a lot of people just like me. And then I guess, like, let's think of maybe a King Von. Let's think of his music. A lot of stuff about drugs and murder. And then he sold a lot of drugs and did a lot of murders, and then he died. I think he was going to go to jail forever anyways. So, all his music, though, is being consumed by kids. And these kids might be surrounded by temptations to join a gang and stuff. But then it's like, if you were to go to, let's go to an area where the demographic is primarily African American. Do we think that, like, the rap music is causing the kids to do all this bad stuff? On average, your average, like, there's some, you know how some areas have heavier demographics. The area I'm in is a big melting pot. There's, like, all sorts of shit. I'm in a melting pot area. But some areas are kind of a little segregated still. It'd be like that. For the most part, those are just normal ass communities. It's pretty rare that you have those communities where, like, oh, there's shootings and the cops don't even come. Like, there's just murders happening all the time. And it's whatever. That's really not that common. And if it was, you'd see about it even more on the news. They would just be throwing that shit. I haven't had internet. And my phone's been in low data mode, so I literally don't know what's going on in the world. I have no fucking clue. I don't know if they ended any of the wars. I don't know if the Jews and the towel heads are still fighting. I have no idea. Do we decide our role in society? Yeah, how much freedom do we have as humans to decide our path? Or are we kind of at will to how the world responds around us? I mean, you think about your average person, your average job. Like, why does someone become an electrician? Usually as kids, especially young kids, we don't have any kind of ideology of dreaming to have a normal ass job like electrician or accountant or dentist. But, like, at some point as we're growing up, we hear about these professions, whether we learn about them in school, from other people, our parents, literally going to the dentist. As we live our lives, we experience things and learn about all the different professions. And that's when you start to maybe think about what you would want to do. And a lot of times, somewhere along the lines, someone says something that entices you, whether it's, oh, that sounds fun, or maybe not fun, but you can get paid to do that? Okay, I'll get paid to do that. Or you're given, like, okay, you can make a lot of money doing that, even if it sucks and it's not fun. Like, you can make a lot of money. Let's get it. Let's learn it. Or like a trade school. Like, hey, come do this trade school, learn this stuff, and you'll get a good job. It's like, okay, that's a good path. But I guess it's like, what's lucrative to you and what calls your name. So at that point, yeah, we do kind of decide our role in society as we grow up. And we can decide a path that we later disagree on and say, hey, I wish I would have done that. I should have done this. I should have done that. That can definitely happen. So sometimes at that point, that's when we feel like we didn't decide. Like, damn, I didn't really want to be here. I didn't know it was going to be like this. What the fuck? But at the end of the day, You made millions and millions of micro decisions that led you to this point, to the circumstances that you're currently experiencing. And sometimes along the way, a good chunk of those micro decisions are influenced by emotion. And sometimes our emotions can be governed by things that are outside of our control. So we have these external stimuli that are outside of our control. Let's say a family member passing away, or someone mistreating you in a romantic relationship, or your car breaking down. That can cause you to make decisions such as, I'm going to drink and wash away my feelings now. And I'm not saying, okay, you go out, have a fun night, maybe even get some pussy. Who knows? Now the next day, though, that all that life that you live, you made this decision to drink and go out and be promiscuous. And maybe the next day now you're arrogant. And you're feeling cocky. And you kind of just do what you want. And don't really hustle at all, or try to expand yourself that day. And maybe you miss out on an opportunity that if you were ready and not hungover and not all like prideful and feeling yourself over getting laid, that you might have missed out on a big opportunity that would have been much bigger than a little slice of cooter. So all because we had a car that broke down and a girl that dumped us, we decided to go out. And maybe that night nothing bad happens, and the next day nothing bad happens, and nothing negative happens, but we might have missed out on something positive. So at that point, we chose the booze and the strange, and we decided that. That was our choice. And yeah, it was influenced by something negative. So it was hard not to do that. You know, it was hard to not. What am I supposed to do? I'm upset at this situation. But you could have growed and flowed instead. But sometimes also you do need to go out and get some cooting. And that's important because you decide what you're going to do to that cooter. Are you going to give that cooter a good night? You're going to give it your full effort? Or are you just going to bust a nut and go to sleep? You know? You feel me? You decide your role. Are you going to the next day think you're all hot shit just because you got some? Huh? You're going to stay with it. What you going to do? But again, those little micro decisions in our brain on how to feel and how to react over time determine our path in life. And maybe that Monday, after that weekend, if you would have stayed sober and just focused in the moment, maybe done some stuff during the day. People don't know about deliverrryyy on the weekends. We all think that in order to meet a new girl, a lot of time we either have to go on a dating app or drinking meet up at the bar. But deliverrryyy, bro, out and about, just having used a Saturday, having used a day party, a darty, and being out there and feeling confident and ready at like noon, and just going bowling or doing something or meeting up with friends or doing something. Those are good bumping into some strange hours, my guys. I'm telling you. And then during the week, you know, you'll get you'll have like less of a desperate feel to try to like talk to a girl or something, because you're out and about having fun. You actually bumped into someone in the real world. Now you're like, damn, So if I just be fun and cool and go out and about, there is a chance. There always is a chance. You don't need to do anything. You don't actually have to do jack shit. But again, maybe you could have put some extra energy in your sales job during the week and studying at a new job instead of swiping on Tinder. I know it only takes like 10 minutes to do your swipes or whatever, but there's the other dating apps, and it can be a whole hour-long thing if you have like all 4 of the good ones. You ever use one of the shitty dating apps? It's like, what the fuck is this? And they're like, not real. It's not real people. Yeah, that's some stanky desperation. Once you get to the off-brand dating apps, like Zoosk and Plenty of Fish and HILY and OK Cupid. Bro, you find yourself on OK Cupid. I don't know, you gotta do something else, bro. You gotta find a new lane. So, I was thinking about something interesting. And again, I know I talk about this girl I was talking to, but it's a lot of good reflections and learning lessons in it. So it's like, it's not that I'm beat up emotionally about it and need to talk about it. I mean, it helps to sort my thoughts out on it, but anyways, so you ever heard the concept that as humans, we're an aggregate of the top 10 people that we talk to? Our personalities are an average or an aggregate of the top 10 people that we share the most time with. And you could expand that and say, like, we're just an aggregate of everyone we bump into. And it's true, you can take positive and negative traits from someone subconsciously. You really won't even realize certain words pronouncing a certain way, certain dialects, phrases, and behavior. So if you are one of these people that finds yourself noticing negative things in people throughout the day, like, oh, this person annoyed me, this wasn't going right, they should have done this, they should have said that. If you're one of those people who's overanalyzing other people and seeing this, like, more negative stuff in other people, and really kind of, some people do, they focus on negative shit only. Because they're like, I got to make sure you don't have all this negative stuff. So I've got to always have my little fucking telescope on your ass. And those people end up being, they do all the stuff that they are worried about. Manipulating, cheating. They will do that shit because they're worried. It will become their personality because they're so worried about someone else doing it to them that they'll end up doing it. Because we are this aggregate. And if you're seeing the negative stuff in everybody and you're overly negative with people's, how you analyze people's behavior and judge them, you and yourself will now take those traits. Because that's just the information that's coming into the subconscious. That's how energy in this world works. It's very simple. I've explained it so many times and put it in so many different boxes and made it very simple. What goes around comes around. That's it to this world. At a base level, it's pretty simple. Karmic law. Now, if you focus on the positive of people, and I realized this had happened with me and this girl, that I'd noticed these little traits that were kind of like that I was doing. Like maybe some of the positive random things she would do, that I was now doing these things. Dancing more throughout the day. Just a certain energy, certain glow. And that I saw this glow in this person, even though there was way more negative. This person had way more negative stuff than positive stuff. I saw the positive so much more and focused on the positive so much more that that's what I saw in this person. So instead of me taking on their negative traits, I was able to take their positive traits. So yeah, I don't really even care about people, dude. It doesn't matter about helping people. It's just learning and adding their positive parts to your life, observing them and soaking in the positive parts. And stealing their soul. No, I'm just kidding. Not like that, but you see what I mean. Obviously, you want to be a positive force for people, but if you also see that positive force in other people, it can be something that props you up and provides you with some learning lessons and opportunities. All right, intermission. As the businessman slowly gets down. It's Friday, baby boy. It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's working for the weekend, Friday. Every day is Judgment Day, y'all. Every single day. You gotta put it on the line. Who are you gonna be? What are you made of? I'm made of hearts. I don't know, I've got the lover boy energy, man. I'm a bit of a flirty fella. Can be a little bit of a teasy boy sometimes. Where's my nickel? Gotta grind this shit up. Nicole. There was this girl named Nicole when I worked at Walmart, and she had a really fat ass. What's with the name Amber? Can you guys think of ever meeting an Amber who didn't have like a big butt? Like oh wow, she has a big butt. Like you would, like it was like that. Not just like she had a nice butt, but it's like distinctively like, oh man, did you see Amber's butt today in those pants? I don't know. Has anybody else seen that correlation? I don't believe in coincidences, dude. We might live in a matrix. What do you guys think? Comment below if you've if you've met an Amber with a fat ass. Comment below. Yes. I'm getting bored in the dating world. I was thinking of picking a name and trying to find two girls that with the same name and talk and have like two girlfriends with the same name. I don't know. I don't really try ever though. I mean, if I did, I could go for that type of thing, I suppose. I'm like James Bond out here doing secret missions. We're gonna find us two Ambers with big butts tonight, boys. Just going around to every girl with a big butt at the bar, like, is your name Amber? She's like, no. Like, okay, have a good night. Do you know any Ambers? I'm a sales guy, dude. I know about getting my referrals. I think I'm gonna start dating through referrals. I'm gonna post like a video story on my Snapchat and be like, hey, listen, I'm looking for a female with these traits. I want her to have a fun, glowy energy. Maybe even some people think she's a little bit annoying. I want someone that's actually some people think are annoying. So if you know annoying, hot girl, it doesn't have to be super hot, I guess. I don't really judge like that. I'm more of a spiritual connection energy. But obviously someone well kept and clean and attractive. Because that's what I am and I work hard to be that. So I'm allowed to ask that from someone else. Like, sorry, it's the will of nature. This is how it be. It be like that. This is kind of fire, dude. Like, I know I have an appointment, like, this day. I have a sales appointment at 3:30, and the person owns, like, 3 businesses. But till then, you know, I can be productive at my own things. Because it's like, it's still 11:30 a.m. Like, we haven't even got to noon yet. I can go up to the mall and do some shit. Smoke dough. Think of cool stuff, you know? Having a good time. I'm almost done. Bear with me. Get bear with me, baby. We gotta install microwave ovens. Custom kitchen delivery. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Yeah, buddy, that's his own hair. Star Wars. Doing what I do, dog. Yeah, one thing I need to realize, so I do receive, I don't seek validation, but I do receive validation. You feel me? Like the person I've built myself into, the person that I want to be, the person that I strive to be, I execute at it and I receive external validation. See, look, there's my kitty right there. See, that's proof in the pudding. The kitty you attract. But with that said, yeah, some people will never understand and simply never fuck with you. And that's the way she goes. It's just not everyone's going to like you. Sometimes you feel like you can build yourself into a person that is very adaptable. And to a certain T, yeah, I can tune myself with someone. With anyone. But as far as like getting a full glass of tea from BryansWorld, that might be a little much. And that's how it be with, a lot of people, right? It's like, all right, on the surface level, this person's pretty cool, they're pretty chill, but if you really got involved in their day-to-day shenanigans, you'll see that they're like a one way or the other kind of extreme. And the more you get to know people, the more their extremes show, and they're more comfortable with showing you their extremes. And I made someone a little too comfortable with showing me their negative extremes, saying like, I'll put up with anything, you can be a certain blah blah blah. And I shouldn't have done that. I should have made a standard. There was a certain standard that you can set from the beginning, and you'll get that high standard out of someone. And once you start slipping on it and stop asking for that high standard, you won't get it. The second you cave, it is a downward spiral. You can't cave on jack shit with these hoes, dude. Like, you don't. I finally got to the point where I stopped caving. I said, nope, it gonna be like this. And if not, you gonna be out. You're out. Strike 3. I'm a manual classe, bro. I'm a closer. I'm not gonna waste my time with someone who clearly don't want to buy me. Because that's how it be. Some people just aren't gonna like you. And we have to accept that. There's just gonna be some shit about you that they don't like. And it's not really our business to care, you know? Because that's somebody else caring and overthinking. You don't want to be the one that's overthinking, you know? I used to always be the overthinker in any type of friendship or relationship. I was the crazy one. I was the overthinker. And now I'm the adaptable, simplistic one. The magic one. But I'm chill, man. I keep it real chill. But also fiery and intense in my own battles and with myself. But like my external vibe for the most part is like a chill, attractive, accepting, adaptable energy. Gotta stay in the zone, boys. The kitty's trying to steal my spot and take a nap. If you're gonna steal my spot, you better put on a show. If you're gonna steal the spotlight. Shit. Always go with what feels right with the flow. So when you feel resistance from lack of communication, you should communicate. If you have feelings for someone and it makes you nervous to talk about those feelings, you should talk about them. You know, I used to be really shy with that kind of stuff. Now I'm just a gunslinger. Leave it all out there on the table. Tell them how I feel. Because resistance can really weigh on us. And if you're thinking in your head, I love you to someone, well, fucking send it. Send the text. Nah, say it in real world. Or just tell them like some details about them that you like about them. But yeah, you'd rather escalate or de-escalate, right? You don't want to be in that gray zone. The gray zone is good. We have to accept the gray zone. But if like it's bothering you and causing weight and resistance, that's going to affect how you can take advantage of your opportunities. So if somebody's not giving you that opportunity and you just don't know where it's going, figure it out. Communicate with them. And if they don't say nothing back and if they ghost you, there's your fucking answer. You got your fucking answer. It's a no. Move on. I guess if your feelings are bad, you should express those too. Because sometimes when they hear a bad opinion, they'll agree with it. And they'll be like, you know what? I haven't been doing well in that department. And I do need to improve. And thank you for pointing that out. And maybe they'll never make that improvement if somebody didn't point it out. I know I've been there hundreds of times in my life. But yeah, walking around with any additional weight on our shoulders, I mean, the way this world is structured and built, and the way this world was created was a balance, and that you're going to have some bullshit. We're here to experience both heaven and hell on earth. And you're going to deal with some dog shit bullshit. And it's going to piss you off. And there's always going to be things on our shoulders that appear. Life is so complicated and full of so many different moving parts. And I'm a big statistical probability type of guy. And given a large enough sample size in life, we're talking about time. Talking about time as the unit. Over a certain period amount of time, there's going to be a certain amount of bullshit. That's life. That's fucking life. Whether it's somebody being a dick, whether it's bitches that don't want to fuck, so you gotta get high. Maybe your flight gets canceled and you're stuck in the airport and you relapse on alcohol and you wake up in chains. No, in a straitjacket. You wake up in a straitjacket. Not again. In a padded room. That'd be crazy. Yeah, people really do freak out. You know what's wild with some of these trauma people? If you like are mean to them, they won't they'll remember that you actually brought up more negative stuff about them that you didn't even say. They'll be like, "Oh, you were saying all this and all that," and like, actually, I didn't ever say that. I forgot about that. But thank you for reminding me. I don't know. From now on, you gotta do it. There's gonna be an application. You gotta apply to date me. You can't just scoop me up. If you actually want to, yeah, no. I gotta look at your resume first before I invest any time. Oh yeah, I have shit on my phone. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, time to get back to my roots. Think things more clear. And make my enemies pay in blood. Oh yeah, okay. That's kind of a douchey thing to say. So, I was looking for Wi-Fi, and I was like up in Akron, kind of in the hood. And one of the things, like it was kind of like borderline Section 8 Akron. And one of the Wi-Fi names was Gucci Headband. I'm like, bro, that shit costs more than your rent. That shit costs more than my rent too. I'm not picking on you. That shit costs more than our rent, man. You ain't got no Gucci headband. But nah. I'm a firm believer in buying the fake stuff from China. Because at the end of the day, it's a piece of cloth or some kind of clothing material with someone designing and printing a logo on it. So whether it's you bought the Gucci headband from the Gucci store or whether you got it from DH Gate or from Chinese web